What are the best life hacks for poor people? If you wind up homeless, get a Planet Fitness gym membership, $10 a month, so you can shower every day. The one near my work also has free Wi-Fi. I've been homeless often. I used to just walk into the YMCA and shower every day. Also, libraries. OMG, libraries kept my sanity while being repeatedly homeless due to mental illness. The entertainment value, the ability to get several jobs that got me unhomeless, the hand sanitizer. It's actually in my advance directive that my funeral is to be held at my public library's auditorium. Go to the library. Not only are there books there, but also you can check out video games, sewing machines, movies, museum passes. So much more. Not to mention the software, education and events that can help you get a raise, promotion, or better job. Libraries F-King rule. I'm pretty comfortable financially but still use the library all the damn time. Mine even checks out wall art. Okay, I've got this. I've been really super poor. I'm upper middle class now through busting my ass, but I still live as if I am poor. First of all, food is expensive. You do not have to eat that much. Really, you don't. Mentally, being hungry as a teen screwed me up a bit. I learned that an empty stomach was normal, or even an accomplishment if I only had a couple of bucks and had to make them last. Learn to cook dried beans. Pat boil them first. Then rinse and cook until done. Google it if you need to. Super cheap and nutritious meal. Bonus points for cooking them in a crock pot in a small room. It will help heat your room while they cook. Cheap hot dog buns are a cheaper alternative to loaves of sliced bread if you are on your own. A whole loaf of bread can often go stale before you eat it. A pack of 8 hot dog buns is usually $1. So that's a week's worth of bread for $1. Wear a knit hat and scarf in the house. It makes a huge difference. Keep that thermostat on 60 degrees. You will make it. Also, if you are a single person, spend time at the library or other public space. Free heat and often free entertainment. If you can afford it, buy an electric blanket. If you can't afford it, get one of those plush acrylic throws. Use it as the first layer of bed covering. Top it with some type of heavier cotton quilt. If you don't have a quilt, top it with a sheet and then some other type of blanket. You will stay warm. It's amazing. Do not buy bar soap. Buy body wash and use one of those mesh loofahs. You will use much less product. If your house and windows are old, cover them with anything you can find. Sheet plastic or bubble wrap are ideal but are also expensive. Use trash bags, cardboard, anything you can come up with. Tape around all edges with duct tape. It works. Don't heat space you don't need. It was not unusual for us to stay mostly in one room during the really cold parts of winter. Just heat that room. If there are no doors, tack up blankets in the doorways to stop the airflow. Cram anything you can under doors to stop drafts. Take care of your possessions. No matter what it is, it's all you have. Make the most of it. Don't toss your things about or leave your clothes on the floor. If doing laundry is an issue, have some clothes set aside as strictly public clothes. Pull them off ASAP and put on your house clothes. At least you can look presentable longer between washes. Learn all you can about everything possible. It is so good for your mind and can help stave off depression. Join a church unless you find it offensive. Many churches provide weekly meals. Go eat, enjoy the climate-controlled environment, and maybe even enjoy the fellowship. Know your true worth is not related to money. There are so many other things. I need time to think. If you live close to one, Planet Fitness membership. $10 per month and the location near me does free pizza once per week, and free bagels once per week. That's 8 meals for $10. Plus you can save on your water if you want by using their showers. Also, when you're broke, it's hard to kill time and not spend money. So go to the gym and use their Wi-Fi to watch shows while you walk on a treadmill. It's honestly a great way to kill time. Rich people throw out amazing stuff. If you know someone with a truck, you can go around the wealthy areas on garbage day and get all sorts of furniture, appliances, and clothing. A little cleaning and maybe a few minor repairs and you have lots of stuff to use or sell. At Walmart or most grocery stores you can buy a rotisserie chicken for wicked cheap. They're actually cheaper to purchase cooked instead of raw, and you can make several meals out of just the meat you scrape off the bones. I often make sandwiches or wraps and it'll typically last for like 6 meals, all for like $5. Then you get to use the carcass to make a stock. To all my fellow college kids who use Chegg as a lifeline but can't afford it, use TextSheet.com, copy the URL of the blocked Chegg page and paste, Answer that you're under 13 on the survey so they can ask you anything else, and bam! An unlocked text of the problem solution. You can donate plasma and be paid $30. Up to 6 times a month. Extra $180. It is supposed to hurt a little. I donate twice a week. For $70 a week. My donation center has monthly promotions. If I donate every week and I manage to get the promotion, I can earn $300 $350 a month. By just sitting on my ass for a few hours a week. Drink only water. It's one of those ripple effect things that improves every other area of your life. I work in a welfare office. The number of people who are both 1, unable to afford proper nutrition, supposedly, and 2, morbidly obese is counterintuitive until you see the enormous sodas so many people travel with. It's incredibly easy to drink more calories than you think you're drinking, and the fattening nature of these drinks is all in the sugar content. Switch to carrying water instead of soda or other sweetened beverages, and I assure you the following will happen. You will save more money than you imagine. You will sleep better. Food will taste better. You will have more consistent energy throughout the day. Your skin/overall appearance will improve, and you will lose weight. If you do nothing other than stop spending money on soda/sweet tea/etc. and just drink filtered tap water, you will thank yourself. Source: was poor, now I'm not poor. Still drink only water, and unsweetened coffee. Am over 40 pounds lighter, sleep well, and feel better. Congee with a broth cube and leftover veggies and meat. When things are really tight, just rice, broth cube and water. 1 cup of rice with 6 to 8 cups of broth or water will stretch into several meals this way. It can be made really nutritious by adding more things, but when money's tight this can satisfy your belly. Also, make use of all social services available to you. All of them. You're poor, these services exist to help you get by and make things easier. Apply for them even if you're 100% sure you don't qualify, you never know how else they might be able to help you. If you have pets, find charities on Facebook that help provide food for pets to people with a low income. I can't tell you how much stress this took off my shoulders knowing I had enough kibble for my cats, so they wouldn't starve and I could buy my own food instead. Don't be ashamed of being poor. I know people look down on you for that, but shame gets in the way of coping with poverty. Everybody can get poor at no fault of their own if circumstances align right. Even if you made less than smart choices, got a drug habit or whatever, you're not less deserving of basic human respect and kindness. Nobody is perfect, and poverty exists because governments don't implement or fund social services well, with minimum wage etc. Everybody deserves to live comfortably and not have to turn over every penny 3 times before spending it, no matter how much character that builds. Poverty king sucks, and still come up short on basic necessities. Please tell your doctor if your medications are too expensive. My parents worked themselves to the bone and we ate like shit to help pay for medicine for me and my sister, hemophilia. We needed medicine to help clot during our periods. They never complained and just worked. My mom didn't want anyone to know we were poor. There were cheaper alternatives. They could have saved thousands of dollars. I'm a family doctor now and I make it a point to talk about medication costs and ask at all of my follow-ups if things are affordable. We don't know what your copay is and it's not always easy to tell what will be covered on your plan. Please let us know if something is too much. This is what we are here for. Edited to add hey thanks stranger for the gold and silver. That's a first for me. To answer some recurring questions, I have hemophilia C, which I like to call the off-brand hemophilia because it's quite different than the more common ones. It's autosomal recessive. Both of my parents are carriers. My 2 boys are carriers and 1 is symptomatic. The medication was Amicar oral solution. And as someone more eloquently describes in the comments below, prescribing the cheap medicine isn't always that simple. It depends on your insurance company, your deductible, which pharmacy you use, yes that matters. Especially for psych meds, and if Jupiter is in line with Venus and the pharmacy gods smile down on us. For some people $50 a month is reasonable and they would rather pay more for a long-acting and other people can only afford $5 a month and are reusing supplies like lancets and catheters. I work in the US. If your medication is too expensive, and you have something other than Medicare or Medicaid, try looking for manufacturer's coupons. Symbicort has a great one for 1 year no copays right now, and some of the newer long-acting stimulants do too. Ask about local compounding pharmacies, mail order, 3-month supply or off-label dosing. Pharmacists look away. Like you can use eye drops in your ears for an acute bacterial infections and sometimes they are significantly cheaper. I've done that once or twice when patients just didn't have the extra cash to get the one designated for your ears. If you need a procedure done and have a residency program or medical school local to you, see if they need any volunteers for didactics or demonstrations. We've done ingrown toenails, warts, skin lumps and bumps for free during lectures to teach the other residents how to do them. Two great sites, needymeds.org, goodrx.com. Manage every dollar you spend. Know exactly where your money is going. You can't reduce spending and save more if you don't understand where your money is going. There are a number of apps out there that help you budget and tell you what you're spending money on: Mint, Truebill, etc. Once you see the breakdown, you might notice that you're spending more on meals than you should. Or you had that subscription you forgot about that suddenly took $25 out of your account. Remember, being poor and being constantly broke aren't always the same thing. Sometimes you're just bad with money. Live below your means and try to put whatever you have left over into savings for a rainy day. Meal prep every Sunday for the whole week. I only spend $40 to $50 on groceries a week, but that's without trying to be cost effective. Could get it down to $30 if I needed. Use Ebates if you shop online for cash back. Do online surveys in your free time. I do some on eRewards and eventually redeem the points for Southwest points to help pay for trips. Use the Fetch app. You scan your grocery receipts for points and can redeem them for Visa gift cards to certain stores, etc. Learn how to say no if someone asks you to do something you know will put you in financial stress. Probably not what you're asking for, but if you really want to look at the data, Haskins and Sawhill found there were 3 things that most determined whether people escaped poverty. Finishing high school. Waiting until you were 21 to get married and not having kids before that. Managing to hold down a full-time job. Of course, these 3 things are not entirely down to choice, but if you focus on them and pull them off, there's only a 2% chance you stay poor. When buying something that you expect to last, buy the cheapest version of it that makes sense. If it doesn't break and lasts forever, awesome. If it does break though, go out and buy the best quality one you can. If you broke the cheap one once, chances are you'll break the cheap one over and over again, so spending a bit more now will save future you from having to spend more money down the road. This is especially good advice with tools. Learn where to shop. Going to the grocery store will not save you money. The Latin markets, the Asian markets, the halal and African markets and Indian markets each have their own specialties. Stockpiling is a necessity. Always have basics like flour, sugar, and spices you use. Stock canned goods you use frequently. Buy in season and avoid things like starfruit and avocados when possible. The dollar store is in general not a good place to save a buck, though there are deals there if you look around. Community garden in the summer, or just garden if you have the land for it. Hunt and fish during the fall and winter. A deep freezer, even if shared with friends, is a must. The bread outlet store will save you lots of money. The thrift store is an amazing place for dishware, clothes, and electronics, especially cables. If you have to choose between keeping the lights on and paying for heat in the winter, keep the lights on. First thing in the morning when you get up, turn the oven on, if you've got one, for a few minutes and let that warm up your kitchen. Unless it's gas, don't take the Sylvia plant route out of misery. Get the cheapest old sewing machine you can find and hem and maintain your clothes. While lots of shitty clothes are super cheap, they fall apart after a few wears. When you can, buy decent clothes and take care of them. It will cost less in the long term. Get a library card. Libraries are sanity savers when you're too broke for other entertainment. As well, get a local schedule of events and go out when something is free or very cheap. Keep yourself occupied, even when you are struggling with money. Get to know your local bakeries and other businesses, in particular their baking and delivery schedules. Old product that didn't move that needs to be sold or disposed of before a new shipment comes gets big markdowns. You can get decently healthy food for relatively cheap. If you live in some states, you can make decent extra dough collecting cans and bottles. I went door to door collecting cans and bottles after leaving a super crappy job many years ago, and while it was sometimes fruitless, and some people are less than kind to a person on their doorstep, I made more money that week doing that than I had at the job I had just left. A lot of people were thrilled that I was there to take their cans and bottles off their hands. I did it until I found another real job, and got to know some of the other folks that did that for a living. Real nice people, very supportive of each other for the most part, as long as you stayed out of their territory. Do what you can to maintain your friendships and relationships. Poverty is, among many other things, boring, and often very isolating. Stay connected to your people. Live with other people. Go out when you can. Suggest cheap things to do. The debt snowball. Basically, write down the debts you have and their current balances. Everything like credit cards, cars, student loans, and so on should be on the list. Then, look to see what the smallest amount is. Set all of your other payments to minimum, and pour as much money as you can possibly afford into paying off the smallest debt. Once it is paid off, add that payment amount to the next smallest amount and get that paid off. Continue that until your debts are paid. In the event that you have debts of similar amounts, choose the debt with the highest interest rate to pay first. Also, do not add more debt. Avoid swiping your credit card like the fucking plague. Also, if you have multiple credit cards, close all but your oldest account the second you pay the balance off. It may take you years to accomplish, but this is the most effective, tried and true way to eliminate debt.